Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we're doing something a little different, but first of all, don't mind my fade tan. But anyway, we're doing something different today, something a bit more interesting, a bit more personal. And because it was LGBTQ plus History Month last month, I am telling you how I came out. How I came out of the closet. How I came out as being gay and how I came out as being a drag queen as well. Throw both in there. Now this isn't a sad story, so don't worry, there's no trigger warning or anything like that. This is actually kind of funny. So we're gonna slap some makeup on, have a good chin wag. I've never used chin wag in a sentence before. Because what else is there to do on a Monday night when I'm sat alone in my room? Exactly. So before we jump in, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and give this video a little thumbs up and a comment if you can. And I've also recently just put up a Patreon as well. If you want to subscribe to that, that'd be amazing. There's no content on at the moment, but there will be pretty soon, don't you worry. So, how I came out. Okay, so we're taking this story all the way back to 2013. I've been out for a while, yeah. They just couldn't creep me in the closet, could they? So I came out in 2013. I already knew I was gay at that point. I didn't just like come out not knowing. I knew I was gay around 2012. I was probably about 14, still in high school, and obviously we didn't have LGBTQ classes in school. I don't think they do now, which needs to change. But yeah, I was in school and I kind of realised that I started fancying the boys instead of the girls. And everyone was kind of bullying me already at that point, calling me gay, calling me the F word, all sorts of stuff. And I was like, am I? Is it that obvious? And I started having crushes on lots of guys. Started fancying probably every single boy in the school because I didn't know what I wanted. And it was quite a troubling time. I didn't really know what I was going through. I didn't know what to do. Who do I ask? If I ask someone, they're gonna immediately think I'm gay and they're gonna immediately spread a rumour. So what did I do? I talked to people online. Yeah, 2012, I know I'm old, but we still talk to people online. We had basically Facebook, Kik, and Ask FM. And on Kik and Ask FM, I would meet really nice people and they would talk to me about being gay and stuff and help me figure out what I wanted. I just made friends on the internet and kind of made my mind up to who I wanted to be and who I was. All the products, by the way, that I'm using today are going to be in the description, so if you want to find out what I'm using, just look down there. So I was talking to all these people, yeah, I was talking to them online, which is a very healthy thing to do. These days you can talk to absolutely anyone online. There's like a million Facebook groups, there's YouTube videos like this one, there's all sorts available. So after talking to a couple of people online, I decided, oh, I'm going to meet up with one of them. I know, risky. Obviously we'd have phone calls and we'd have FaceTime chats and all sorts. Pretty much trusted this person, weirdly enough. I invited them over to help me come out to my family. So I invited him over and I wanted to come out to my dad first because for some strange reason in my head, I thought my dad would be the least accepting. Turns out he's the most accepting and the most supportive father you could ever wish for. But because of the stereotype of, you know, dads kicking people out, I was like, I'm going to tell him first, see what that is, and it should be easier after that. So then this guy comes over. I'm not going to say any names, by the way, just in case, because they're watching this video. I just don't want to spill names. He comes over, I think in the morning, at like 9 in the morning, because he had to get the train in. So we just sat there and we're like, nice one. But what I do remember is him basically saying, oh, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, you don't have to come out, you know, it's life-changing. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to go up and tell him right now. So me, with all the confidence in the world, for some strange reason, went up to my dad. He was in the bathroom shaving, and I just went, I need to talk to you. Which I never said that to my dad, ever. And he was like, oh God, what? Yeah, I think I'm gay. And he was like, oh, okay then. We'll talk about it downstairs. And then I went to say, oh yeah, and the guy downstairs is my boyfriend. That is like the most awkward thing I could have done, like bring my first boyfriend round to my dad and I hadn't even come out yet. So yeah, that would have been a bit of a shock. And I remember he stood in the kitchen where he normally stood anyway, making breakfast, coffee, whatever. And he was taking his time, you know, to get to grips with it. So then my dad calls me, doesn't he? Can you come into the kitchen? And I'm like, yeah. And he gave me the biggest hug and he gave me this massive smile and I was like, I love you no matter what. I will, you know, understand it, but I love you no matter what and I'm very proud of you for telling me. very emotional time. My dad's a very emotional person. That was absolutely fab. Not the reaction I expected, of course. So then, this is where it takes a turn. Then my dad tells me he's already rang my mum. Now my dad and my mum aren't together, by the way. So he's rang my mum and he says, she's coming over and I've already told your nan as well. And I was like, oh, well, I hadn't had to come out to 2 other people then, thanks. Comes in with a dog, biggest smile on her face, like this massive smile. And she's like, gives me a massive hug and she's like, well done, I'm proud of you. Kind of expected that from mum. I expected her to panic maybe, but I didn't expect anything negative to happen at all. And then she said hello to my boyfriend at the time and talked to my dad about it, and that was it from them parents basically. Then my nan comes over. This is my dad's mum. So my nan comes over, bless her heart. She gives me this big hug and she's like, oh, I kind of knew already. Nans always know, don't they? First thing she said was, well, I know a gay on my street. Maybe you could hook up. Right in front of my boyfriend at the time as well. Thank you, Nan, thanks. My nan's a very open, no boundaries, no filter kind of woman. So that was hilarious. And she was very loving and very supportive, and she always was. And then I think my other nan must have rang me. Can't remember really seeing or speaking to her about it in person, but I remember my mum told me, she was like, oh, your nan says she always kind of knew because apparently you used to talk about this boy. Oops. But yeah, that's basically how I came out to like the main family, and I didn't even have to come out to like my aunties and uncles and stuff because my dad had already rang loads of people. My mum had already rang everyone. She'd rang her friends, rang my aunties, she'd rang all my family. So basically all the family knew, and every single family member supported me and loved me. I don't think any one of them said anything bad or reacted badly. I think I've probably got one family member who's not really agreeing with it, but he said he still loves me no matter what. So nothing upsetting or anything like that. So that was me coming out to my family, and oh, that boyfriend didn't last, by the way. Then there was coming out to friends and the entire school. I did that in probably one of the worst ways possible. So in school, I'd already told 2 of my best friends already at the time. I remember in school I kept bursting out into tears for absolutely no reason. You know, I was very upset and I didn't really know what was going on. But yeah, I came out to 2 of my friends first, and luckily very supportive, caring and loving and all that kind of stuff. I said to him, shall I start coming out to more people? I can't really remember coming out to that many close friends because I was just worried about how they'd react, and I didn't want people spreading rumours until I told my family at least. So I told my family. Then comes telling everyone at school, because basically I wanted to live my life. I wanted to be with my boyfriend. I wanted to be true to everybody. I didn't want to hold any secrets or lies. I didn't want to, you know, talk to my friends in the corner about certain things. I wanted to be myself. So I did probably the worst possible thing. Now there was, as I mentioned, the app Ask FM. And I used to get a lot of hate on Ask FM all the time. Ridiculous amounts of like, oh, you're gay, oh, you're that, oh, you're fat, and you know what Ask FM's like. You knew what it was like when you were there. Someone must have asked me like, oh, are you gay? And I must have turned round and basically said, you know what, yeah. And say in public, online, it's like, yeah, I'm gay. Deal with it. It was like the day before school as well. Like it was Sunday night. I was about to go in Monday morning. Oh my God. What was I thinking? And then I remember walking into school that morning and oh my God. I remember getting ready and being like, what do I do? Who do I talk to? I didn't have many friends anywhere. Even if I did, I didn't think I'd have any friends left. So I walk in and I'm like, you know what? I'll just walk around, try and find one of my friends. The response I get is completely the opposite. All these girls just crowded round, hugging me, saying well done, saying we're proud of you, and people like, yeah, we all knew. You got the odd person saying, well, I don't really get it, so do you like men? What do you think gay is? But that was basically it. I didn't really get any nasty responses, I don't think. Weirdly enough, that's when the bullying stopped. That's when people kind of stopped calling me names, and if they did, it was like, oh, you're gay, and they'd be like, oh, yeah, he is. And people actually started asking me questions, more the straight men than anything. They were like, we're just confused, we don't know what is this. I actually made more friends being out and gay and living my life than I was being in secret, which was great because I was living my own life. I was not ashamed of anything anymore. I could be open with people, there were no secrets, even with family, just everyone could know everything and I wouldn't even care. And it was great. This eyeshadow's not working for me at all. Now obviously I know that different experiences happen with different people. Like obviously people get kicked out, have to run away, people don't get the response they like. I'm very, very lucky that I got such a great response. And obviously I'd like to thank my amazing family for supporting. I came out to him, 8 years ago. Since then, I've had a number of boyfriends. Weird boyfriends, bad boyfriends, good boyfriends. I've had all sorts, I've had everything. And I've also been through a lot, you know, partying, going on holiday by myself, and then obviously doing drag. That was a massive change. So they've been through a lot, and now they are my biggest fans. In fact, my granddad, he understood it, he obviously understood it, but he became my biggest supporter in drag at one point. He used to go clay pigeon shooting. He'd take his iPad with pictures of me in drag. This is when I started drag as well, so I looked awful. And he'd go around to, like, you know, all the other men, like the 60, 70-year-old men. My granddad's like 80. And he'd be like, oh, look at my grandson. Look how amazing that transformation is. Look how good that makeup is. Look at it, don't even look like him. Just being a really, really supportive granddad. And I'll never ever forget that. And my nan as well, whenever I got a new boyfriend, oh my god, she'd come over and she'd be like, so where you from, what you do, what's your credit score? And she'd be her hilarious, embarrassing self, which I found absolutely hilarious, and I loved her for it. I just looked at my eyes and thought, Jesus Christ, this could be a boring tutorial, innit? There's not much going on. Right, I've just cut my crease because I couldn't do that while talking, oh my god. And I'm just gonna set it with some matte shadow. So yeah, before we move on to me coming out as a drag queen, because I've kind of rushed through that, to be honest, I'm just going to say some helpful tips to coming out. Lord knows everyone needs advice and tips and help, especially in a time like this. Weirdly enough, in this time, coming out is going to change your life. I wish it didn't. I wish you could just, you know, say how you feel and nobody really bats an eyelid and like, okay, so. But it's not just there yet. So first things first, you need to make sure you're in a safe environment before you say anything, because you don't want to say something when you're in a home, everything just goes wrong and you end up homeless, or you end up couch surfing, or, you know, bad things happen. You just don't want that. Obviously, if you live at home with your parents, you've got to kind of find out where they stand on the whole LGBTQ plus thing. Let's think of some good ways to kind of bring up the conversation. You could say that your friends come out as gay and you don't really know how to feel. That's a good one, because then your parents be like, either they don't care or they'll be like, oh, we're going to hell. That's a kind of a good one. Maybe you could put on a show about gays. Maybe you could watch Pose or It's a Sin. You could watch it and just see how they react. It really depends on what your parents or whoever you live with are like. If they're open, like vocally, like they share their opinions a lot, then it's pretty easy to determine whether you should come out or not. If they're more quiet and reserved, you're obviously going to have a harder time. Funnily enough, you're going to actually have to do a background check on your parents, because you can think what you want about them, you know, you think you know them, and they could twist. You don't know them like their work friends know them. You don't know them like their high school friends know them. So you've got to do your checks, like check the social media, check what they do, check how they say things, their opinions on things, because you've got to be safe in your own house. And if you're not safe, and if you feel like, you know, it's going to be a bad outcome, then just don't do it. I just wouldn't run that risk. Yeah, you'll feel free and you'll feel like, yeah, I'm out now. But you'll also, you know, you'll be stuck. You'll be stuck with someone who doesn't really like what you're doing and who you are. So yeah, that's rule number one. 100%, make sure you're safe in your own environment. And it's same goes with school or work. Make sure you're in a safe environment there too, especially if you're at work, because imagine if you came out and then you suddenly got sacked. I mean, what is more important? Is it your, you know, happiness and how you are in front of everyone else, you know, being yourself, or is it, do you need that money to live? Now, obviously you can quit a job and get another one, but if you physically cannot get another job, which a lot of people can, especially in a pandemic and in these current times, then just keep that in the back of your mind. Maybe tell someone or ask someone some advice, because you don't want any incidents happening in work. Well, school's a bit different. Every single day under the sun, you're going to get everyone commenting stuff. I don't think it's as bad now, but you know, every school's going to be different. You're going to expect it. A lot of people don't come out till after school, until they're in college or even university, which is fine. Come out when you're ready to come out, especially when you feel strong enough and safe enough. Just don't rush anything if it's going to be unsafe. I know I've babbled on, but that's definitely rule number one. Keep that in the back of your head at all times. Right, I just did my over eye off camera while I thought of some more tips. So, tip number 2 is ask people questions. There is a very, very, very large community of LGBTQ plus people all over the place. There's many Facebook groups, there's many Twitter accounts. You could email someone probably. You know, there's a million support groups out there just for you. Whether you are a lesbian, whether you are pansexual, asexual, bisexual, transgender, any of the LGBTQ+, there will be a group for you. So make sure you ask lots of questions and you look at people. Ask them questions like, oh, how did you come out? Or where do you live? How did you find it in your area? Find people in your area as well. When I came out, there was literally no one. I mean, I think there was one other gay man in our school in the area above, and I think there were a few lesbians, you know, a few bisexual people, but no one was out at the time really. I was like the only one at the time in that school, and I didn't know anyone outside of school either, so I was pretty much alone. But I had all the online help, which helped me to actually come out, which was great. So definitely seek online help. I mean, you've got me. You could always ask me, you could always message me. If you want to keep it, you know, secure and you don't want your parents to find out or something, you could always email me, you could always message me, you could always comment anonymously on this YouTube channel. You know, you can do whatever you like. I will more than happy give anyone any advice. I'm not an all-knowing person, but I know some stuff. If you are into drag, I also help run a Let's Talk About Drag Facebook group and Instagram page, which is a support group for people who, you know, starting out in drag or are doing drag or need advice on drag. No, that's more of a drag thing, but I do help run that group with some amazing people, so I do have a support group for those who need it. So yeah, definitely find support, find a support network as well, find the right friends, find people who you trust. If you are more shy and you don't really like socialising, then online's great for you in a way. And I'm sure there's many people who are feeling just the same as you, so don't worry. We should all come together and support each other. My nan always says that. We should all support and love each other. Another tip is don't be worried if you get it wrong. I know it's a weird tip, but sometimes people come out as gay and they realise, oh, maybe I'm not gay, maybe I'm bisexual, or maybe I'm asexual, or maybe I'm only attracted to people, certain people, or maybe some people come out as gay and then realise they're straight later on in life. It does happen. I honestly think labels are a lot of crap. You do like who you do like, and you shouldn't have to come out to anyone, but you know what the world's like. Another helpful tip, which I've probably already mentioned, only come out when you're ready. At this moment in time, people are probably coming out, you know, left, right and centre. It's a great thing to do nowadays. I mean, people coming out and being themselves, it's amazing. But yeah, just make sure you come out when you're ready. A lot of people don't come out till they've, you know, finished high school, finished college, even finished uni. Some people don't come out until later in life. Some people don't even realise. So don't worry, you're not in a rush. There's no rush. You come out whenever you're ready to come out, and then you'll live your best life. So don't feel pressured to do it just because everyone else is having an amazing time or anything like that. Just take your time. Do what you want to do. It's your life. So now I've kind of given some tips. I'm going to tell you how I came out as a drag queen. Entirely different story. In fact, I am pretty sure coming out as a drag queen was harder for me than coming out as gay was, because I was older. I kind of knew everyone's opinions of me. I think because I was older, I was just a bit more worried. Like as a kid, I kind of thought, well, I'm going to be stuck at home anyway. But as a drag queen, you know, I had a job, I had a boyfriend, I had a family who kind of knew me already, and they thought they had me all figured out. But no. So basically, a quick story, I did start drag by, I think it was Halloween. I'm a massive Nicki Minaj fan. I absolutely love her to bits, and I wanted to be her on Halloween. And I was an awful Nicki Minaj, oh my god. I didn't do, you know, like Super Bass or Starships. I did some random video that she appeared in for like 30 seconds as a feature, and nobody nearly got it. It was basically me, but with a smoky eye, a blonde wig, and a snapback on. I even wore trainers. I didn't even bother. But anyway, I was practicing for that. I bought a little bit of makeup, which I am going to do a tutorial on my first makeup, don't you worry. I bought a wig, a hard front wig as well, and I was experimenting with makeup, and I thought I was transgender. And then I thought, no, I'm not transgender, I'm gender fluid, which that lasted on for quite a while. And I had all this in the back of my head, by the way, I didn't tell anyone. And then I thought, you know what, I'm just a drag queen. Now, I was doing all this in secret. Come home from college, I had half an hour before everyone came home from work and school. So that's when I would practice. I would literally just practice in half an hour. I'd use my mum's makeup and a tad of whatever I had. You know, my job wasn't paying that much. So with whatever makeup I had and not one wig, I'd take loads of pictures, obviously, in the bathroom. I used to use my mum's window because it was the biggest window and had the best lighting. And I've got pictures of me doing that. So then I'd do that in secret, wipe it all off before everyone came home. Now my boyfriend knew I was doing it. I obviously asked him the idea. It was like one of his parties I was doing it for. I don't think he'd realise I'd be doing YouTube tutorials with like how many thousands of people watching. Bless him. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna actually tell people I do drag. And this was because I was already doing it online. I was already posting pictures because I had all my family like hidden from seeing my stuff, mainly to protect them, because you know I'd share funny things or gay things or bitchy things and they'd take it too seriously. So it was more to protect them. So I was already posting stuff online, so everybody kind of knew I was doing drag, and nobody on my friends list were doing drag. None of my gay friends, obviously none of my straight friends were really doing it. Nobody was doing it. I wasn't friends with a single one. I got mixed responses obviously because I wasn't that good. Well, I was terrible actually. And I think one of my mum's friends saw it and she messaged my mum and was like, oh, China looks, you know, really good in drag. My mum was like, he's not a drag queen. I had to message the friend straight away and be like, yeah, no, I ain't told her yet. Ooh. So then I had to tell her, it had to happen. So I did it the other way around, coming out in drag. Decided to come out to my mum first and then come out to my dad, just because I thought it was fair. So I sat my mum down and I was like, right mum, we need to talk. I said, yeah, let's sit down, because for some reason I thought it was massive news. And it took a while and I just went, I'm gonna be a drag queen. The first thing she said was, oh, I thought you were gonna tell me you were born a woman. And I was like, no, not that, just drag. Oh, not that would be a problem. You know, we love you for you. You know, it's expensive and obviously we'd have to do it because we love you. It was this whole commotion. I was like, mum, I'm a drag queen. It's fine. Oh, well, that's fab. And I think she just got up, got a beer and then watched telly. And obviously she'd ask questions, you know, day to day, like, what kind of drag are you doing? Where are you going to perform? Let me see you in drag. What wigs do you have? It was a gradual understanding. Because in my mum's eyes and in a lot of their generation's eyes, drag queens were typically, you know, your camp, pantomime performers, whereas what I was doing was obviously online. It was just pictures and maybe YouTube tutorials. I was just, you know, learning and experimenting. So she didn't really understand. She was like, well, are you a cross-dresser? Are you transgender? Now, of course, she understands. She understands 100%. It's just that new kind of age of drag, which was basically coming up when I was coming up. So then I told my dad. Me and my dad watched Drag Race in a way, and that's one of the reasons why I started drag as well. So I was talking to my dad and I said, right Dad, I've got something to tell you. And he was sat down in his chair and I remember him going, oh, what now? Because I've, you know, recently come out like 2 years ago. Well, you know them drag queens on the telly that you like? And he was like, yeah. Well, I want to be one of them. Oh, right. Oh, that'll be great, that, won't it? That's it. That's it. And then I think we even put Drag Race on because we were like, oh, let's watch Drag Race then. And he was like, oh, she's beautiful. Oh, they look good. We found it funny. It was great. A really good experience. I remember my stepdad, he picked me up from the train station, I think, and he just went, well, what drag queen do you want to be then? Oh, you're going to do comedy, are you going to do this, are you going to do that? And he was like trying to be really, really supportive, and it was just amazing. Couldn't ask for a better family. Now, obviously, coming out in drag was a bit different to coming out as being gay because, well, to me, drag's more of a hobby. Well, it is a hobby, you know, being gay is not a hobby, it's my life. So it was a bit different, and in fact, the experience was different as well. It was just, people took it differently than being gay. People took it a lot differently. And it surprised me, really, because a lot of people stopped being friends with me when I started doing drag. A lot of people just became very distant. Obviously, they were confused and they didn't know if I was going to become a woman. Now, I had some amazing friends from high school. I remember we had a house party and it was like me being in drag for the first time in front of them. And they were loving it. They were like, wow, look at you. And that wig makes you look great. I think it was one of my straight best friends at the time. Came in and watched me get ready and was like, oh, can't wait for this. It was just really, really nice. So some tips on coming out as a drag queen. Well, for me, it was obviously a different experience to coming out as gay. Obviously, make sure you're in a safe environment. For some reason, people can understand being gay, but they can't understand dressing up like a woman or dressing up as a man. You know, drag kings or club kids or whatever you're doing in the drag world is very confusing for a lot of people. Because some people see it as a performance, some people see it as a sexual thing, some people see it as some kind of anti-God Satan thing, you know, all sorts of stuff. People think all sorts of crap. What you've got to understand is that you've got to respect other people's beliefs. I got told that by my mother. She was like, people are gonna, you know, argue with you and, you know, make points, and you've just got to respect the beliefs and just understand people don't always agree with you on certain things. which is true. You can't just go around demanding people to be like, you've got to love me and love what I do, when you know it's not going to affect your life whatsoever. That's my best advice. Don't just force people to be into it. They don't want to be into it. Get them out of your life. You don't have to be involved. Fair enough. I've had friends who've fallen out with me because of the drag thing. Bye. Gone. My drag is like my future and what I want to do, and you're not part of that, so yeah, make sure you're safe. Obviously make sure you're in a safe environment again, because it's another coming out step. Make sure you know you want to do drag, because people, you know, sometimes do drag for a night or a couple months, or they just want a job and they just do it for a job and then they don't want to do it anymore. Fair enough. That doesn't demand a whole commotion thing. If you want to do it as a career and you want to express your art, let's say you're doing it in your parents' house, you've got to let them know what you're doing, just for their own safety, so they know you're not getting into trouble basically, and they don't need to panic. Also seek some more advice online. I mean, I'm part of the group that I mentioned earlier. That's a really amazing group if you want to be a part of it. We have drag queens on there that are 80 years old who just want to start doing it. We have a lot of mums on there who their children want to start drag because they really love it, and they always ask advice. Even if you're a parent watching this and you don't know how to react to your child coming out, you can always ask me questions. You can always ask other groups questions. I'm sure there's groups for parents who don't understand everything, which is fine. So that was my story basically of coming out as being gay and coming out as being a drag queen as well. And there's nothing really else to say. I keep meeting people, you know, day to day, obviously new work people, new friends, boyfriends, family, and everyone still supports me. At a time like this, you've got to be supportive. Obviously there's people who don't. I still get called names out of moving cars, still get called names online, always get called names online, in fact, all the time. So don't worry, that is going to happen throughout your entire life. Some people just won't understand and have been brought up the wrong way. Maybe some people have just had negative experiences in life and they're taking it out on you. There's a million reasons, but you've got to be strong and you've got to understand that who you are is going to piss people off, and you've got to be okay with that, unfortunately. That sounds really sad. But a lot of people will love you for who you are. A lot of people love you for being yourself and being amazing and being out and proud. Once you come out, your personality will shine, trust me. It just will. You will shine. You'll be happy. You'll be out. You'll be free. You won't be, you know, holding back secrets. It is a massive step. Obviously you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm not forcing anyone, but if you are going to come out soon, then I'm very proud, very, very proud of you, and I hope it all works out for you, and hope you have, I'm going to say I hope you have a happy coming out. That sounds kind of cool actually. And I hope you have an amazing support system behind you, and I hope you find, you know, happiness and love and all that kind of crap. I don't want to be all soppy. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my face, and I'll come back for the final look and final goodbye. Right everyone, so I've quickly gone off camera and I've added my little new hair. I mean, look at that. This is my Nicki Minaj super bass moment, okay? I think it was fitting for the video, you know. Oh, I just love it. And I've gone ahead and done lashes, lips and all that kind of stuff, and I feel gorgeous. I feel absolutely stunning. Now, I actually did message my mother and I told her I was doing this video, and I said, can you believe it's been 8 years since I came out to you? And she's put, my mum's not the best texter, alright? I have to translate it, it's very Yorkshire. But 8 years, wow, that's excellent. Because there are people out there that don't say anything, and we're very proud of you. I know you've always been you, but I've never put time on it. Because you're just you, and we wouldn't change you for the world. Aww. Basically what she means is that she completely forgot, like, it's been 8 years, because she don't think about how long it's been or anything, because she'll think about it like that. But oh, that was a nice message. Oh, bless her. I should ring my dad next. He'd probably end up crying. My dad's one of them. He'd be like, oh, I love you. Bless. I really wanted to do a more helpful video to those who, you know, are struggling with coming out and struggling with being themselves and struggling with other issues other than just a makeup tutorial, you know? And I thought, you know, I'd share my own life experiences. I'm 23 this year, and Lord, I've only just, like, you know, settled down, ready to, you know, get a house. But oh my God, I've got some stories. There's crazy exes, crazy work stories, crazy friend stories. Oh my God, there's like a million things, and you could all learn from my mistakes. And I turned out fine. I'm alright, I think. So I hope this video did help you out a lot. I hope you learned from my experiences, and I hope you enjoyed the look as well. I am enjoying this look. I mean, I look pretty sexy. So thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.